Here, it asks to lock the same record, lock A. But before transaction 2, we have transaction 1, which locks the record. Transaction 2 goes to a queue. It must wait in queue for transaction 1 to unlock A. This lock cannot be granted to transaction 2. Why? Because it has already been locked by transaction 1. So it has to wait, transaction 2 must wait, it has to wait until transaction 1 finish the processing, finish the running, and then it says unlock A, or just it finish. When some transaction, when any transaction finishes, it will release all the locks. It will unlock all the data. After this, transaction 2 can be run. It takes the lock, read A, manage to do this instruction, but it cannot because there are just $200 in the account, and this one tries to do this instruction A minus 400. It cannot be run, and it cannot run, and there is no problem here. You just have a message that the account balance is lower than the amount that we are going to take from the account, and it will be finished, and no harm and no problem will occur. It's when two persons are trying to access the same information. There's another issue too in the sequence of the running the transactions. Sure that it's different if transaction 1 first come and first run, or transaction 2. There are different results. Which one starts earlier? The results will be different, and there are some transaction manager system in the database system that can manage this one too. Yes, it can be the both. It can be both on one record or multi-records when you are going to change, for example, some records, or even you are just getting some statistics from a table. You are, for example, you are going to have a list from a table. I give you an example. You say, I write it here. All the students in computer department. You want to, you are going to have a list of all the students in computer department. In the time that you are getting the list, for example, it takes a while to prepare the list, and no one else can come and see the student table because you are going to have a list of students. If another transaction comes and change the information. So the information that you are printing, you are listing is not, will not be correct. It's not consistent. So the second transaction must be wait after you take the list, then it can come and do anything it wants. There's another issue. When one transaction just want to read information, not write, just read, no update, no delete, no write. The transaction one ask for a shared lock. Shared lock means, let me write it here. Shared lock is just for reading data. Exclusive lock we have for writing data or changing data. Exclusive. When one transaction, we have a table here. Table. Shared and exclusive. We have here shared and exclusive, and also here and transaction 1 and transaction 2. We have two transactions, for example. If both of them are going to just read information, not write, just read the information, it's okay. They can both have access to the table, access to the record, and just read the information. So two locks. They should ask for lock. They should ask for lock, but a share lock. And when transaction 1 asks for shared lock and it is granted, there is a manager in the system of the database system. In database management system, we have some lock manager. The lock manager gives the lock to transaction 1. Then transaction 2 comes and asks also for a shared lock. It's okay. Both can be run. But if any of them is exclusive, they cannot be granted at the same time. These are not available. For example, transaction 1 asks for an exclusive lock. It means that it's going to write data. It's going to update the data. So transaction 2 even cannot see the data because the data is not consistent. We know that transaction 1 have the exclusive lock. It's going to change data. So transaction 2 cannot come and see data even because the data is that it's reading it's not correct. It's changing. It's changing. If transaction 1 has shared lock, it means that it's reading data. Transaction 2 asks for exclusive lock. It says, I want to update data. It cannot be granted. Why? Because transaction 1 is reading data and it cannot transaction 2 come the same time and change the data because transaction 1 is reading data. And of course, two exclusive locks are not granted also because